The Chinese Ding Liren surprises proves to be way too much for the competition in Moscow. But speaking of way too much, Sergei Karyakin is just that for Georg Meyer. Not to be outdone, Anish Giri and Wesley So give us perhaps the most exciting chess match we've ever held on Chess.com. But before any of that, Alexandra and I discuss female titles, male and female segregated events, and whether either of those things should even be a thing. ChessCenter, where we're never afraid to bite off more than we can chew. The chess world was buzzing this week about Vanessa West's article diving into the murky topic of female titles, male and female segregated events. And just about everybody qualified to speak on the topic did so, besides yourself, Alexandra. And that's why you're here to lead off ChessCenter to let us know your thoughts.
I think regardless of where you stand on the issue, Vanessa's argument was extremely well researched and extremely well written. I tend to side more with Vanessa. I do think that female titles perpetuate the stereotype that women are innately worse at chess than men are. It lowers the bar, it lowers the expectation. And while there are clearly some short-term benefits to having female titles in terms of motivation, I think the long-term harm is very detrimental to the psychology of female players. Chess is seen as the ultimate intellectual sport, and yet we're telling women that in order for them to become a master, the bar is lower than for men.
Well, then, if you weigh these short-term pros with the long-term cons, perhaps you have a solution to suggest.
Personally, I would do away with female titles, speaking as someone who has a female title herself, or at least change the culture towards women not accepting female titles and going instead for gender-neutral ones. However, I wouldn't change segregated tournaments yet where there's a different section for women or women-only events, because I think this is the only way the top female players are going to be able to continue making a living from chess. And they are great players. We do need these kinds of role models. I don't think we should move that. But at least for new girls coming into the game, I think they need to have the mindset that they are capable of reaching the same standard as any good male player.
Starting with Mamedyarov shocker, knight takes f7. The point is after queen takes f7, bishop g6, there's a big mate threat on e8, so the queen has to defend that square. If the queen instead went to d7, rook e8 check comes anyway, because white smashes through on the d file with one of the minor pieces hanging. So in the game after this bishop g6, black was forced to play bishop f5, but it was not enough for Adams to hold the game, and Mamedyarov won in short order.
In a few more moves, he lands the lady on h7, and that was enough to force resignation by the Englishman. Great game by the Shock. I think I recognize a few of those faces behind you, Peter.
Absolutely. Yeah, Danny, I'm now together with a number of colleagues here of Chess.com in Seville, Spain, where we're having a small mini meetup.
Well, tell everybody I said hi, but before you do, we got to talk about Ding Liren winning in Moscow. Is it fair to say he was a surprise to take the second leg of the FIDE Grand Prix?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, not a big surprise that he is a strong grandmaster, and he was actually among the leaders almost throughout the tournament. But to become the sole leader was a bit of a surprise, and that was basically because something a little bit odd happened in the final round. Because he was leading together with Shahryar Mamedyarov, and Mamedyarov decided to take no risks and draw his game with Maxim Vasilyev in 13 minutes. Everybody basically expected Ding to draw his game as well with black against Boris Gelfand. But Gelfand suddenly played very aggressively. He started to sacrifice, and well, it turned out to be not correct. Ding basically refuted this play and emerged as the sole winner.
Certainly an interesting and exciting finish there in Moscow, but we had a few of those on Chess.com last week. Tell us how the Speed Chess Championships wrapped up.
Yeah, absolutely. Two great matches last week. The first was between Sergei Karyakin and Georg Meyer, and it was convincingly won, as expected, by Karyakin. He scored 19-7 and only lost 3 games in total. In fact, the play was a little bit more balanced. Meyer was playing rather well, actually, but yeah, in the end, he didn't really have a real serious chance there.
But the second match, now that was not clear at all from the start or the finish.
No, that was actually an amazing match, an epic match. We've hardly seen anything more spectacular on the Chess.com server, I think, with Anish Giri and Wesley So battling it out of 30 games. And after 29 games, it was still all equal. Giri, he was the underdog in this match, but yeah, he just managed to play really well and be basically on the same level with lots of very aggressive games, actually more aggressive than we are used to see from these players. And yeah, it was all decided in a final chess 960 game because yeah, Wesley So managed to level the score in the last regular bullet game. Yeah, but the very last 960 game won by Wesley So, and So is now going to face either Magnus Carlsen or Gadir Gusainov.
Despite moving on against Anish Giri, Wesley So missed a theoretical draw in this big game. Tell everybody what that was, Robert.
Well, as Maroon 5 sings, sometimes it's compromise that moves us along, yeah. And here, Wesley missed the opportunity to go bishop to b5. The point is that the rook takes g2, bishop c4 check, king f5, bishop d3 check. That bishop can cover the two vital diagonals, which stops white from playing pawn to f7. In the game, the big mistake was that he went pawn to b3, and now after f7, the threats of rook g8 check are too overwhelming, so white is completely winning.
It all kicks off on June 5th with a Blitz event. Robert, tell the fans what they might expect from the 5th Altibox Norway Chess Super Tournament.
Well, Danny, any tournament featuring the world chess champion Magnus Carlsen will have him being the favorite. That being said, despite the fact that he's defending champion, Wesley So bested him a couple months ago at the Tata Steel event. 10 of the world's top 12 players will be competing against Carlsen and So, including Fabiano Caruana and Vladimir Kramnik, both of whom are nipping at So's heels for the world #2 ranking. Sergei Karyakin is back in Norway. We know he challenged Magnus Carlsen for the world championship, but he also won the first 2 events at the Super Tournament. So he'll be fighting chess, 10 of the world's top 12 players, and I still think Magnus will defend his crown.
Everyone can look for updates by Peter Dockers at Chess.com's news division, and we are as excited as everyone to watch this big event.
You are the Adam Levine.
It's not always rainbows and butterflies, it's compromise and moves us along.
Peter, you want to tell them we're recording?
Yeah, guys, we're doing ChessCenter.
ChessCenter? 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 What's that? What is ChessCenter?
I'm as you said, I'm the Philippe Petit of walking the tightrope of inappropriate meets offensive.
Wesley So will be trying to overtake him in Norway as the...
Now you're just beating yourself. Don't beat yourself in chess, Robert. Not always rainbows and butterflies, it's compromise
that moves us along, yeah.